in Tenkara, much like in Western fly casting, there is a casting technique involved. It's not dapping where you let the wind do the work, and it's not cane pole fishing where a little weight at the end of the line is carrying the bait forward. Tenkara is actual fly fishing, and the lines are made for casting your little simple fly forward. This is the traditional Tenkara grip with your index finger on top of the handle. A big part of that is actually for increasing your precision, your accuracy on a cast. First, it's going to be kind of like your index finger pointing exactly where you want to cast, but also what it does is it reduces the amount of movement of your wrist. So you're not just like using your wrist. I mean, this doesn't feel natural, it doesn't feel very comfortable. You're going to use a little bit more of your arm. It's just going to be a little bit more arm oriented, which really helps drive the line forward. And one of the main things for getting your line to roll forward or to turn over is actually the stop. A lot of people, and it's a little bit hard for me to do it, but a lot of people that don't have any experience fly fishing, they tend to just make a continuous motion, and that makes the line just kind of pile up. So 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, but they don't have a stop. And that just kind of makes the line go right in front of me. There's no precision, there's no power, no transfer of energy. So just by moving forward, you can still cast, but a lot of people are going to get the line piling up right on the tip of the rod. So the main thing with the Tenkara rod, you've got to come to an abrupt stop at 2 o'clock. It doesn't have to be abrupt. I mean, your cast can be very, very slow, but as long as you're actually stopping, that's going to transfer the energy from the tip of the rod to the line. So there you go, and it's just turning over a very nice loop. And you can put more precision on it. You can crack it down, and it's very precise. I mean, I'm just kind of making the fly snap onto the surface of the water. If I want to break the film of the water, it's a really useful cast. Or you can make it very slow. It doesn't matter. The main thing is the stop. Tenkara has like lots of different types of casting that you can do with the Tenkara rod very effectively. The traditional one, of course, is the overhead cast. So you're going to move up your rod to about 12 o'clock, and you're going to move down to about maybe 2 o'clock, and then you're going to stop, and that's going to transfer the energy from your tip of the rod to the line, and that's going to make it cast forward. So 12 o'clock, 2. So this is the typical cast. 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. The other thing that you can try doing, as soon as you stop the tip of the rod, you kind of follow through. But you have to come to a stop, and then as soon as you do, you just kind of follow through and lower the tip of the rod. One, I can get a little bit more reach if I do that. The other thing it does, when I follow through, the presentation is a little bit more delicate. By following through, I just kind of slow down the descent a little bit of the line. So the other type of casting you can do is, instead of just kind of moving your arm, like up and down, what you can do is move it forward. And that's actually shooting my line. It's what it does is it shoots the line straight up, and the whole line comes down. So what I can do is I can stop and then let it come down, but usually the line might come in a little bit first, a little bit before, or if I just push it forward, if I push it, then the line just kind of goes straight and then it comes down. So the other type of casting that can be useful in a small stream situation, not necessarily here, but if I have a plant or an obstacle or a tree that kind of has low foliage and I want to make my fly go underneath it, what you can do is what is called an underhand cast. So instead of a overhead, you can do a little bit of a clockwise motion, and it's very subtle, but I can shoot my line underneath obstacles. Some small streams, that's going to come in handy, and that makes for the fly to land first. I can shoot it underneath an obstacle, and it's also very delicate presentation. Some people also refer to this as a reverse Belgium cast. But one type of casting that works beautifully with Tenkara is the actual, there's some different names for it. The slingshot cast or the bow and arrow cast. And all we do is, I got my tippet here and my fly line, or my level line in this case. You hold your fly line, your level line, until you're able to bend the rod a little bit. You don't want to overdo it because that's going to overpower and it's going to pile up. But you bend it a little bit, pull it up, and then you just let it go. You don't want to hold it on your fly or too close to your fly on your tippet for a couple reasons. For one, if you do, the moment you let it go, there's a higher likelihood that your hook is going to get stuck on your finger, which, by the way, is a good reason to always use barbless hooks. But also, you're going to have to really stretch your arm to try to get any bend on your rod, and then you lose a lot of precision. So for a bow and arrow cast, you just hold up, a little bit above your handle, a few inches or a foot above your handle. Put a little pressure on your line, and then you let it go. And that's very useful just to shoot it in a very tight spot. So a lot of times you might, let's say, have a lot of trees overhead, and that side is clear, or when you're just beginning, if you have a little difficulty getting the line to roll out with an overhead cast, which a lot of people find a little bit more difficult, what you can do is a sidearm cast. And that's very, very simple. All you do is just make your line travel parallel to the water. So Tenkara has lots of different types of casting that you can do with the Tenkara rod very effectively.